What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Married to the Game, a BYU show. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Noah Smith, Kimball Snap, Zach Bates. Per usual, the boys are back, ready for a spicy new podcast episode. Married to the Game, best show west of the Mississippi. If you don't believe it, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment down below. Today's episode, though, is loaded. We're going to first start by talking about A.J. DeBonsa's recent career-high performance of 43 points against the University of Utah. And then we will jump into BYU's near comeback against Arizona, the number one team in the country. Preview the BYU-Kansas game coming up, and then we'll pick some games. And so let's just jump right in, boys. A.J. DeBonsa, 43-point game versus the University of Utah in a 19-point victory. Kimball, what were your thoughts about that?
Oh, it's wonderful. A.J. DeBonsa breaks the single-game scoring record for a freshman for BYU, a record that has stood for like 50 years. And so it was 39, I believe, was the old record.
Yeah.
So 43, a phenomenal game from DeBonsa, especially considering how lackluster the week before was for him. Richie Saunders didn't really show up that game. Kind of interesting. But no one else needed to. DeBonsa pulled up. BYU wins 91-78. DeBonsa, he had a legacy game. 6 rebounds, 3 assists to go with it. Like, an absolute animal.
And for those of you that don't know, who are just casual fans of college basketball or just in the state, if you think that was impressive, it was. It wasn't even the best performance in college basketball on Saturday. Illinois freshman Keaton Wagler, 46 points versus Purdue at Purdue's place. There was another 42-point game, Kingston Flemings at Texas Tech. They ended up losing that game, Houston. And then Dominique Daniels from Cal Baptist, 47 against UVU. And so 440 pieces across college basketball on Saturday. According to CBS Research, that is like the first time that's ever happened. So it was an impressive Saturday. But yeah, you have any thoughts about A.J. DeBonsa's 43-point game, Zach? I know it kind of was against your team, but...
Yeah, it's kind of the performance you expected out of him. Actually, it's kind of interesting now with that performance and including the one with against Arizona. He's now jumped up to the number one leading scorer. He's tied
23.6, number one in the country.
Dior Johnson with Tarleton State, but he
good old Tarleton State.
They play UVU tonight.
Yeah, he's leading the whole entire college basketball with points per game. We'll see how long he can keep staying up there, but I think by the end of the season he's staying in that top 10 or top 5.
Oh, 100%.
Sure. I don't think it's going to drop off at
100%.
all.
Let's roll into...
Well, you know what? Actually, my favorite part of this BYU-Utah game was clean sweep across all 3, baby. Football, 2 basketball. It's just, in my life, it doesn't happen very often, so I have to mention it.
He has to mention it.
It happened this year.
When he can.
I apologize, Zach, but you've seen your team beat my team more than I've seen mine beat yours. So, Anyways, we can continue.
Going in, BYU almost came back and beat the number one team in the country, Arizona. They were down for the vast majority of that game. And then they came back with last 4 minutes, just a lot of grit from this BYU team. A little bit of help from the refs, but nothing too egregious.
Foul's foul.
Yeah, there were some that weren't fouls, though. But
I don't know.
I'm saying that offensive foul on Jaden Bradley, Rob Wright was holding him. That was not a foul. But BYU had a chance at a game-winning shot. Braden Burries clutches up and swats it. Arizona gets out of Provo 21-0. So, yeah, and a super impressive game from both teams. Kimball, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this game because I have a couple thoughts of my own, but we'll go with the BYU fan perspective first. What do you think this game says about BYU?
Here's the thing, right? Because it's all game, outside of the first 10 minutes and the last 1 minute, it was Arizona's game. Up by double digits almost the entire game. BYU's down by 11 with a minute and 11 seconds left. And it's like, that's game, right? But with a flagrant one, a floor foul.
Which absolutely was a flagrant one.
Yeah,
that was a flagrant one foul. That was his frustration foul that he should not have committed.
But yeah, Arizona literally just handed BYU the ball 3 times in a row in that minute, and BYU hit every shot except for that last one. The fact that BYU had a last shot against Arizona is phenomenal. I mean, it was a good game from almost the entire team. I mean, I said, in order for them to win, all 3 of our main guys had to be cooking, and Robert Wright III was not. He only
Kennard Davis stepped in, though.
He did.
He had a huge game.
But ultimately, like, even though the ending was so close and, like, BYU very well could have won that game, I'm so mad they didn't. It would have been glorious. But it's actually not as impressive of a performance as it appears to be.
And some stats coming from that: BYU shot 40% from the field, which is not great, to 53% for Arizona, which is really good. 63% from the free throw line to 81% from the free throw line for Arizona. Arizona had 18 fast break points. BYU had 6. And Arizona's guards, Jaden Bradley and Braden Burries, combined for 55 points on 60.7% shooting. So, yeah, their backcourt was eating BYU's up. And I think, boys, BYU fans might not like me for this, but I think I figured out why BYU cannot finish in big games.
Ooh.
I think I finally figured it out.
Do tell.
So, A.J. DeBonce is an incredible player, right?
Tread lightly, Noah. Tread lightly.
He scored
He's speaking the facts.
13 against Texas Tech, which was a bit of a rough game. He had 24 in this game. A.J. DeBonce, in big games, if you'll notice, the teams that have played defense on him, Texas Tech and Arizona, they have gotten him to shoot the ball horrendously. He shot 6 for 24, 25% from the field against Arizona. Ooh. 1 of 8 on three-pointers. That's 12.5%. And 11 of 16 on free throws. That's 68.8%.
Holy dang.
Against 16. Texas Tech, he shot 6 of 17 from the field, 35.3%. Didn't make a 3 in 3 attempts. And he did make his 1 free throw. And so I think A.J. DeBonce is shooting too much in big games.
I'm going to completely disagree with you.
I completely think you're wrong, Kimball, because hear me out. Nope, just let me make my point here.
Here we go.
A.J. DeBonce is going to be a top 3 pick in the NBA draft.
Top 2 pick.
In June. He is playing a pro style of basketball where he feels the need to be the man in big games, right? Meanwhile, he's got Richie Saunders next to him, who is shooting way better in big games. Way better, because he's not shooting as much. But hear me out here. Richie Saunders, let's go to his game log. Against Arizona, he shot 63.6% from the field, 42.9% from 3. And then against Texas Tech, he only shot 46.7% from the field, which isn't terrible, but 42.9% from 3 as well. And so he's hitting his threes at a high rate against these big teams. I think BYU needs to work through the complementary guys more. You look at the last shot, or not the very last shot, because Rob Wright had that last shot that got swatted, right? The one before that, where they inbounded it, right? It was off of the offensive foul that was called. A.J. DeBonce shot the ball immediately, right? It wasn't a good shot. If he had been able to find a way to find Kennard Davis on that shot, I'm willing to bet it goes in and BYU wins that game. And so I believe A.J. DeBonce is not shooting at a high enough clip in big games. He's still scoring the most points for BYU. He's still getting them almost there. He's just not quite getting them there. I think if 1 or 2 of those shots, maybe even 3 or 4, were given up to teammates like Kennard Davis or Richie Saunders, BYU probably would have beat Arizona. I think they would have completed the comeback.
Here's my thing. I don't really get how you can sit here and kind of pin it on DeBonce.
I'm not pinning the loss on DeBonce. I'm just
when
saying
he scored the most points.
No, I'm saying I understand how that comes off. I'm just saying he shoots some really bad shots. I mean, he's a freshman. He's 18, so it's bound to happen.
Similar to the Cade Cunningham, 45 points after 42 shots. You shoot enough, you're going to score enough, but
I was going to say, I don't care if you score enough. If you're not making shots, if you're taking dumb shots, you're going to lose your team the game.
put up 24 points.
Put up 24, but
against the number one team in the country.
11 of those were from free throw, though. So,
but he was also the only one shooting.
He had 16 free throw attempts.
Here's the thing: until about 2 minutes left in the game, AJ DeBonsa was the only player for BYU who had shot a free throw. He is the best player statistically wise, the best player in the country at drawing fouls. And he was double teamed.
That's another problem.
Here's the thing: he was double teamed the whole fetching game. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Pass the ball to Richie Saunders, who shoots better. If you're double teamed, pass the ball to Richie Saunders. He's gonna make the shot.
He had 5 assists.
Right, Richie had 18 points.
Right, but like watching that game, like BYU just was struggling to really get anything going, and people were just missing shots. But AJ DeBonsa was able to draw. Like, he didn't start missing fouls till the very end of the game. Like, he was pretty much hitting almost. I think he had one missed free throw 3/4 of the way through the game.
See, and that's another problem I have, and it's freshmen across the board because Braden Burries had the same thing. He got 14 free throws attempts, right? Mm-hmm. AJ DeBonsa had 16. Mm-hmm. These new guys that are coming into the league, they're all playing like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander does. AJ DeBonsa, Braden Burries, they foul bait, dude. Like, a few of those. That's why I was glad they didn't call that one where the guy hit into him a little bit, right? Because he flailed his body. And so I'm not saying it's AJ DeBonsa's fault that they lost. I think it's just the fact of the matter is that there was just too little time left. If they had probably another minute, right, to work on that comeback, they probably would have won that game. Like, it was really, really close. Arizona faltered down the stretch. I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily mean he lost them the game, but good teams BYU has played, like Texas Tech and Arizona, they have figured out how to make him miss a lot of shots. Can you agree with that? Because 6 of 24, it's right there. I think
he gets double teamed. Like, it's not.
Okay, so if he gets double teamed, then why is he?
Well, here's the thing: is I think the Texas Tech stats are not super credible because we know he wasn't fully healthy in that game. But I mean, I will agree that he needs to adapt. But it's like, I still would rather have him. Like, he's still our best player, hands down.
No, I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying
he's the best shooter.
He is playing a pro style of basketball when college is a team style sport.
Yeah, it's just he needs to adapt. Like, we saw it with MJ Collins for Utah State, averaging 20 a game, and then all of a sudden he can't even hit double digits. He's finally adapting and changing that, and we saw him get back into the 20s. But it's like, I think AJ DeBonsa needs to find that fix and find a way to get around this double team and play smarter. Like, I do agree with you that, like, I mean, obviously it's a fact that he's not shooting as high of a percentage as the others, but he's still putting up the points.
No, he is. He's still getting to the points.
He is yet to not have double digits.
What happens, though, to him in a game where he doesn't get as generous of a whistle?
I mean,
you get a Texas Tech type performance, right?
It's like
he's not going to win National Player of the Year.
Right, but it's like a LeBron James thing, right? Like, they're going to call fouls for LeBron. They're going to do it for DeBonsa. It's a name game.
Oh, yeah, it is a name game. I definitely agree. They're going to call fouls for him. I agree with you, though.
If they don't call fouls as much on him, if he's not able to draw them, then, yeah, he does get under 20
and
points.
And here's my problem with this is that if AJ DeBonsa keeps doing this in big games, right, if he's not able to adapt and play more of a team-style basketball, they're not going to beat the big teams on their schedule. Like, it's easy to beat teams like Eastern Washington and Abilene Christian. The Abilene Christian, we respect them over here at the podcast. But I'm just saying, like, I agree with you. I think it's something MJ Collins has had to figure out for Utah State as well.
But also, it's like BYU, no team has gotten closer to giving Arizona a loss than BYU just did.
That's true.
And so it's like Arizona is in a different league compared to the rest of the country, and
I disagree with that.
BYU is the only team that, like, hung.
I disagree with that. I think there is one team in the league that is genuinely more stacked than Arizona right now.
Who?
I think Duke is better than Arizona. I think Duke would beat Arizona.
That is a take and a half.
Duke is good, man. Duke is killing teams left and right.
I don't know. One of them's undefeated. The other is not.
That is true. Anyway, moving on to this Kansas game, though. We took a lot of time debating that. Leave a comment down below what you think about AJ DeBonsa. If you're a BYU fan, I already know what you're going to say. You're going to rock with your guy. I understand that. I personally know that I'm correct. Anyway, let's get to the BYU-Kansas game here. So let's look through some of the stats here really quick. Let's just do a quick rundown. BYU averages a lot more points than Kansas, 86.7 to 78.3. Kansas, however, gets scored on less than BYU. BYU gets 70 points hung on them a night. Kansas only gets 67.3. BYU shoots a little bit better, 49% to 47%. BYU also out-rebounds, 40.1 to 39.5. Kansas, 15.3 assists to 15.2, so it's basically the same thing. Kansas blocks better, 6.2 to 4.9 per game, and then 8.4 steals per game to 5.5 steals per game for BYU. Kimball, I know you and I have talked about this, and I think we're in agreement on this. How does BYU profile in this game?
I mean, I think BYU's the better team in this game. It's on the road in probably the toughest arena to play in the country.
Mm-hmm.
BYU fans, the Marriott Center is not the toughest arena in the country.
Kansas
no
is
Utah State fans,
one.
the Spectrum is not the toughest arena in the country. It's probably Kansas.
It's
They
pretty common knowledge that Allen Fieldhouse is the toughest place. And a little fun fact to add to it, this is going to be the 1,000th game played in Allen Fieldhouse on Saturday. And so should be a really fun game. Zach, if you want to take us through kind of the A.J. DeBonta, Darren Peterson matchup, I'm sure you know a lot about that. What kind of is that aspect of this game?
I think the big news really is that Darren Peterson is going to come back after an injury. So I guess we'll kind of look to see how he's going to play, if he's going to be just ready to roll, he's healthy, or if he's going to kind of be like getting back into his rhythm. I mean, he plays a huge role for that Kansas team. And then this is just a fun night to see two head-to-head stars, two possible top 3 picks play off against each other and kind of shoot out. It will be kind of interesting, I guess, to see how the two of them will fare up.
Yeah, so they played twice on the AAU circuit. First game, Darren Peterson's team won. Second game, A.J. DeBonta had 49 points. Heck of a game. They were up by, I believe they were up by 1 point with a couple seconds left, only to be outdone by Peterson that had 58 on the AAU circuit and hit the game winner. Incredible. And so I say all this to mention that A.J. DeBonta is going to be out for blood in this game. BYU is going to be trying to prove that they can walk into one of the toughest places in the country to play and finally get that marquee win against a major conference opponent. And so, Kimball, let's just go straight into predicting this thing unless you have anything else to add.
No, I mean, it's going to be a really good fetching game.
College game day is going there, so
yeah, this
it's
is
the game.
This is another just massive game for BYU. Super fun season. Just seems to be every week. There's just another huge game.
Big 12.
It's the Holy War.
Yeah.
Number one comes to town. Yeah. You're going to the best arena in the country.
Yeah.
I think BYU's due. I think they're due for a huge win. I mean, they've lost to the number 1 and 2 team by a combined 5 points. Yeah, Texas Tech wasn't very close, but BYU was beating them pretty good until the very end where Texas Tech went on that generational run. I think BYU's due for a big win, and I think this is it. I think Kansas is going to go down at home. I really do.
Yeah, for me, I don't. I mean, the way I talk about it, there's no secret. I'm not completely sold on this BYU team. I think they're an Elite 8 team. I don't think they're a Final Four team. I think they struggle with depth. I think they struggle for some of the reasons I just mentioned. I think outside of their top 3 guys, they don't have consistent scores. But talking about this, man, I mean, BYU is due for a big one. This is kind of the game. I think this is one of the most important games they're going to play all year. Mm-hmm. Because, like, if they don't win this one, when are they going to beat a team that's, like, top of their conference, right? If you falter down the stretch in conference play, things could get ugly pretty fast. Obviously, BYU is going to be a tournament team this year. I agree. Darren Peterson has been dealing with injuries all year. Even to the point where they were in a game and he brought himself back in from like a sprained ankle and he got it to overtime and then he subbed himself out for overtime. So Kansas is kind of at the mercy of this guy. He's kind of like a Kyrie Irving type where it's like when his like private camp says he's good to go, he's good to go. It's not really up to the team. Which if you're an NBA GM, I don't know why you would draft him. I would definitely take DeBonta over him in the draft. And because of that, you don't know how much Darren Peterson's going to play, if he's going to have injury issues, what he's going to look like coming back. The thing I'll say about AJ DeBonta, man, is he's consistent. He's played every game this year, as has Richie Saunders, as has Rob Wright, and so I think consistency wins. Kansas has a little bit more height and probably a tiny bit more depth than BYU does, but I don't think it matters. I think BYU walks into Allen Fieldhouse and steals one from Kansas. I agree with you. I'm hesitantly picking it because if Kansas's bigs can kind of expose Keba Keita, then things could get bad. But I'm going to rock with BYU for this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun matchup. Another Big 12 game that's going to be another determining factor for who's going to start to look like they're going to be able to take over, who's going to be second place and looking to sneak in for Arizona once they finally slip up or something. Besides beating Wisconsin at the beginning of the season, BYU has played every ranked team and has unfortunately gone the other way, whether it's a close game, whether it's
they beat two really solid ACC teams in Miami and Clemson. Miami only has 4 losses this year.
And same with Clemson too, but every time they get up into that top 25 game,
that is unfortunately true. They haven't been able to beat ranked teams yet.
They can do really well, but as soon as it hits
is Wisconsin ranked?
They were when they played
beat Michigan. They're a tournament team. They're not ranked, no, but they're a tournament team.
They've been in and out.
Yeah, they've been like Utah State.
Very familiar.
Except Utah State was just out. Anyway.
But I don't know. It's just we can see that BYU can compete in those close games, but we're yet to see them really finish it. And I guess in comparison to Kansas State, they've had some pretty nice wins when it comes to the top 25. They have had losses to North Carolina and Duke, which we just heard from.
How much did they lose to UConn by? Oh, it was only a 5-point game.
They lost
so they played UConn really close too.
Very closely. They did beat Tennessee, who was ranked 17. They beat Iowa State, who was the number 2 team at the time. So I think this is just a really close matchup, and unfortunately we've seen that BYU hasn't been able to finish those. Obviously, it doesn't mean that they can't. It's just, again, going to be in timing-wise of when they can get on that run, when they can score, and hopefully if AJ DeBonta can get some help like we found out. But I think, though, like we mentioned, how we are going to be playing in the hardest place to play. Until BYU can figure out that closing thing, I think Kansas can get this one.
I don't know, man. I think AJ DeBonta is ready to go. I think they're going to steal one. I'm going to rock with my guy Kimball on this one.
And obviously, we need all 3 guys to be firing on all cylinders, right? Against Texas Tech, DeBonta was not. Against Arizona, Saunders was, or no, right? The third was not. Saunders was cooking. So we need all 3 of them because they all average more than 17 points a game, and the next in line is under 8 points. So if they're not all cooking, BYU will not win this game. But if they are all cooking, I don't see a way that Kansas will be able to hang.
I think Kansas is going to hang regardless. I think Darren Peterson, Flory Badunga, Melvin Council, Trey White, they've got guys. They've got guys over there, but I agree with you. I think if BYU's firing on all cylinders, they'll win. Really quick before we close up the episode, BYU next Wednesday, they go for, dare I say, a bit of a tune-up game against Oklahoma State on the road.
Oh, boy.
Oklahoma State has a winning record by a pretty good margin, but is just 2-5 in conference play, I believe. So they're kind of starting to falter down the stretch. Yeah, they're 14-6, 2-5 in conference play. BYU, Oklahoma State. Very quickly, give us the pick for that, Kimball.
BYU. Oklahoma State, as a whole, as a university, their athletics are just going down.
Not some good history.
Long gone are the days of Mike Gundy and Cade Cunningham, man. Zach, really quick, give us your pick for this one.
BYU just scores, and Oklahoma State can't stop them.
You see, I'm going to agree with you guys. BYU wins this one Wednesday night in Stillwater. And, one of the main reasons I picked this one so confidently is I'm not even sure that, and we'll get to it in our rest of state show, I'm not so sure that Utah is going to lose that game at Oklahoma State this Saturday. So
and that's pretty good for some Utah
I
news.
I think Oklahoma State is they're starting to falter a little bit. Oh, gosh, excuse me. Sorry, too much talking. That's our cue to get out of here for the BYU show. If you liked this show, make sure to click the like. If you didn't like this show, don't click the dislike. It doesn't help the algorithm. Yeah. Leave a comment. Ring the bell if you want to be notified when we post. and we'll see you next time on Married to the Game.
Go Cougs!